Hey everyone. Alright guys, so this is my quick thoughts, just like I did on Batman vs. Superman, on Captain America Civil War. And let's do this. I pressed the wrong button. But anyway, so I'm going to do this by character, which is something I didn't do with Batman vs. Superman Civil War, but just because the characters are so great in Civil War, I guess, is the main reason I'm doing that. So, since it's his movie, we might as well start with Captain America. And actually, I'll do quick thoughts first, and then just like Batman vs. Superman, I'll give like a... If you want to miss spoilers, go here. So quick thoughts, spoiler-free thoughts. Probably the best Marvel movie so far, in my own opinion, because that used to be Winter Soldier, and this is, my grandfather put it like this. This is like the Avengers and the Winter Soldier combined. Like the first Avengers and the Winter Soldier combined. And that's just amazing. And the Russos really understand dialogue, and they really understand the characters. And it's just an amazing movie. SpiderMan was my favorite part. It got serious when it needed to be. It was fun when it needed to be. It was just great. And of the two versus movies this year, Civil War by far is the better one in my own opinion. Not that I hated Batman vs. Superman, I just definitely think Civil War is better. And so that's the spoiler-free stuff. If you want to get to the spoiler review, then that's about to start. And if you want to skip to the end to hear my final thoughts, go here, where I'm putting up the thing like last time. Click there on the video, and it'll... or click down on the time, whatever timestamp I put on there, whatever. Okay, anywho. So, let's start off with Captain America, because it is his movie after all. And Captain America, who is just ramming into people, murdering them, was great in this movie. The Russos really get what makes Captain America Captain America. It's that he, regardless of what everybody else thinks, which is a line they said in the movie, which is actually in the comics a line that he said to SpiderMan, is that regardless of what the world tells you, you do what you think is right. And no matter the odds, no matter what anyone else says, you are responsible for what you do, kind of deal, you know? And they really did a good job with that, because people were trying to convince him that, hey, Cap, you know, it's Black Widow said that it doesn't matter how we stay together. What's important is that we stay together. And Cap, he can't have that, because Cap has seen firsthand during the Winter Soldier, and so did Black Widow, that you can't trust, you just can't put your trust in something like that. Because S.H.I.E.L.D., look at S.H.I.E.L.D., the entire time, the most secretive organization in the world was being run by someone else. And it's like Cap he does not want to let that happen to the Avengers, and they do a great job with that. And it was honestly it's not exactly like his morals in the comics, but they did a great job interpreting that to the screen. And I gotta say that I just really enjoyed all the Cap scenes. Like all his dialogue was it was either very inspiring, or it was very like, you know, yes, Cap, you know what you're talking about. And you can tell this is a guy who's seen it all, and who does not want the one thing that that is truly good that he's seen so far to be just taken over. And they just did a great job with that. He also, his action scenes, the Russo brothers or whoever does the fighting in the movie, they truly understand. They get that Captain America, when he punches a guy, he's not just going to fall on the ground. He's going to go through the truck in front of him, and then that's the end of that. And I loved every single fight scene of Cap's. It was like they took the fighting in the Winter Soldier and pumped it up to 11. His fight with Iron Man was absolutely phenomenal. And we'll get more into that whenever we go to Iron Man. But since we're on Cap, they don't have a Bucky or Falcon toy, so I can't or they do have a Falcon one, I don't have it because I'm a loser. But they were such a surprising comedic duo in this movie. Like, I was literally shocked by how funny they were together. Especially probably the scene in my theater, which I had a great theater. It was completely packed and everybody was super into the movie. The scene that made us all laugh the most was after Cap and Sharon kissed each other. They, like, when it cuts back to them in the car and they're just like, yep. that whole scene was so great, especially when Bucky's like, can you scoot your chair up? And Falcon just tells him no. Like, they did a great job taking two characters who otherwise you would not think would be this comedy duo of the movie, and they made them hilarious. But anyway, to sum up Cap, awesome how firm he is in his morals, amazing fight scenes, and just, they did a good job of showing that, you know, even in the modern world where everything isn't so black and white, Cap is not going to falter. He's not going to change. If he believes in something, he will fight for it to the bitter end, and it was just awesome. Alright, so we talked about Cap, so it's only fair we talk about the other side of the issue, Iron Man. And this Iron Man, without a doubt, is the best Iron Man we've seen since Iron Man 1. Because I feel like, even though Robert Downey Jr. does phenomenal, I feel like the more that we've had Iron Man on screen, the more he's kind of just become a parody of the character that he was. Like, he'll show up, make a couple jokes, build a suit of armor, and, you know, there you go. And they've tried to give him more weight, but it just hasn't really stuck. Like in Iron Man 3, they tried to do like the post-traumatic stress, but it wasn't really that bad. And in this, they really they cut to the bone with Iron Man. And they really take you into what makes him tick. And without a doubt, he had the best emotional scene of the whole movie. And that, of course, is whenever he finds out that the Winter Soldier killed his parents and that Cap kept it from him. Which a lot of people don't realize was in the Winter Soldier. When they're talking about the Winter Soldier and all the stuff he did, they show a quick newspaper article of, like, Howard Stark dies in car crash. So yeah, that wasn't like a big thing that we just found out. That's been in the movies since the Winter Soldier. But anywho, it was just amazing. And the part, and I'm gonna man up here. I'm gonna admit something. Whenever Cap told Iron Man, when he was like, it wasn't him, he wasn't in control, you know, he didn't have control of his actions, and then Iron Man's just like, I don't care, he killed my mom. I was like, I teared up, man. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, oh my gosh, because it wasn't like he was even trying to be like, yeah, well, he might have been brain control. He was just like, no, I don't care. He killed my parents. Which I gotta admit, like when that happened, because I'm Team Cap, and when that happened, I was like, holy crap, because I couldn't blame Iron Man. Just imagine that, watching some dude strangle your mom to death and just beat your dad's face in. Like that was just, oh, that was messed up. And like they did a great job of showing that Iron Man truly believes in this, which is something that I think they did even better than the comics, is make it where it's not so easy to see, okay, this is obviously the good guy. Because in the comics, Iron Man like started recruiting villains, and he was just doing all this bad stuff, and like it became pretty obvious that Cap was the good team. And in this, they made it a lot more where you could easily see why each team was fighting, and they weren't fighting for bad reasons. They both were fighting for reasons that could be just and could be what a superhero would do. And I just really loved that. And to top all that off, Iron Man had one of the funniest lines in the whole movie. Whenever Ant-Man goes big, which I'll get more into that when we talk about Ant-Man. But when Ant-Man goes big, and then Iron Man looks around and he's like, okay, does anybody on our team have any shocking new powers they'd like to reveal? I loved that. That was so good. Just more proof that the writing in this was great. But yeah, just to sum it all up, best Iron Man we've seen since Iron Man 1, and just cannot wait to see what the Russos do with him in Avengers Infinity War.
Well, we know you're not Irish.
Alright, so now on to one of the big, what I would say probably the second biggest person people were excited to see in the movie, the Black Panther. Just quick thoughts on him. Awesome. totally awesome, the Black Panther in this movie, and I was very, very worried. Because even though I haven't really read any of his solo stuff, I do enjoy when Black Panther is in like the Avengers and doing stuff like that. And I was very, very surprised with how much I enjoyed Chadwick Boseman, that's his name. The actor who played Black Panther, because I haven't really seen him in anything. And I was wanting like a Denzel Washington kind of Black Panther, which I know is like probably too much to ask for. But the guy, he did a great job with it. They gave him a very unique fighting style. He was very quick and had all these awesome kicks. And like he did, like the way he fought was just unlike anything we'd seen another character do in the Marvel Universe. His accent was very good. That was something I was worried about with what they were going to do with his voice. His suit was awesome. And his character and all, like the fact that he's not just a warrior, he's a king. And they really did a good job of showing that off. Now, I will say, one character I was very surprised to see in the movie was Groot. I mean, they didn't really have him do anything. He was in the background of a lot of scenes, and I was hoping it was going to be like this big reveal that he had been there the whole time, and that then he'd like show them to the Guardians of the Galaxy. But he just stood there. And then sometimes he even looked different, but I mean, you could tell it was Groot because, you know, all the brown and the bark and the stuff. You get it? Because I'm saying that the trees are Groot because there were some trees in the movie. What a dumb joke. Before I realized it was stupid, I'm just now realizing that this joke was very stupid. Alright, now on to a character who I loved his solo movie, and I loved him even more in this, Ant-Man. They just did great with Ant-Man. Like, they understood how to use him in fights, which is great. They finally had him turn into Giant Man, which is awesome. And I'm so happy with everything that happened with Ant-Man. Like, when I heard he was going to be in the movie, I was like, even since he's been in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I have always wanted Hawkeye to shoot him off of an arrow. They did that. It was great. They understand how he plays into a team fight, because that's the thing. By himself, yeah, Ant-Man, he's pretty entertaining to watch. But in a team, he really flourishes. Like, that is where he really shines, is in a team, showing off his very unique moveset and using that to help other people. Like when he fought Black Widow and he shrunk and was like using her own fist to like beat the crap out of her. And there's a bunch of, he had some of the best laughs in the whole movie, and the best, like the biggest moment was Giant Man, and these Wampas are just destroying me. Probably not the best idea to get Wampas in here. I thought it would be funny to have Wampas in a tropical climate, and then people would be commenting, "Why are you fighting Wampas in the tropical climate?" But, wow. Anyway, two dumb jokes that did not plan out at all. Anywho, on to my favorite character, which I'm sure will shock none of you. The Amazing Spider-Man. Well, not the Amazing Spider-Man. Spider-Man. I mean, I guess he's not even really Spider-Man. He's Spider-Man Homecoming now. So, Spider-Man, without a doubt, seals my favorite vote in this movie. He is so great. Tom Holland, you are amazing. You perfectly captured Peter Parker and Spider-Man, because Peter Parker was awkward. He wasn't skateboarding around telling teachers that, you know, basically just disobeying teachers. He was the nerdy nerd that we have all come to love, and Spider-Man never shut up. Literally, the way I knew that they really finally did this right was when Falcon looks at him and says, "You haven't been in a lot of fights, have you? They usually don't talk this much." And I was like, yes, that's exactly what I want to happen. I want people to be like, "Kid, shut up." And that's exactly what they did. His reveal was amazing. As soon as Queens, New York came on the screen, everybody just lost their minds. And for good reason, His costume was great. His wit was great. My favorite Spider-Man joke had to be whenever he was fighting Falcon, and Falcon was just just rammed into him, and he's punching him, and obviously he does not have the upper hand at the moment, but he's still just, you have the right to remain silent, and he's just beating the crap out of him. It was great. They didn't nerf his powers. They used his skill set to awesome degrees, even though I will say this, I should never be attracted to Aunt May, and I was attracted to Aunt May, which, yeah, that's my only real problem I have with it. His banter with Tony Stark was amazing. I cannot wait for Spider-Man Homecoming, because Tony is going to be in that movie, and I literally cannot wait for the next time we see this character. If I had my way, he would be in every Marvel movie, and that probably won't happen, but hey, a guy can dream. Although, I will say one other tiny complaint. Whenever Giant Man goes all giant and Spider-Man cusses, I was like, oh, come on, man. Spider-Man doesn't have to cuss. But maybe that's just because I don't know, I'm not a huge cussing guy, I guess. But, whatever. Small complaint. He only did it the one time, and it wasn't like he was just screaming the F-bomb over and over again. So, small complaint. Overall, great character, great introduction. Has me even more excited for Spider-Man Homecoming than I already was, and I didn't think that was possible. So anywho, welcome back, spoiler-free people. Yeah, we had a great time. We discussed how Iron Man is brutally killed by Pepper Potts midway through the movie. Yeah, probably. Just don't worry about that. It wasn't a big deal. I don't think it's going to affect the plot going forward. But anywho, I loved Civil War, as you can probably tell, and I cannot wait to see how the Russos handle the Avengers and Avengers Infinity War. Avengers Infinity War, not whatever. And they're gonna, because I've seen how they handle these guys, I'm very excited to see how they handle the Guardians of the Galaxy. And, like I said, I hate to have to draw a connection between the two, but, they're two versus movies, and as much as I like Batman vs. Superman, Civil War, without a doubt, takes the cake for best comic book superhero fighting movie. So, sorry, Batman vs. Superman. Maybe next time, and, yeah. Go Spider-Man, you're the best. And I know you might be sad, because we're gonna have to wait, a year until we can see Spider-Man again, which sucks. I think it's even longer than a year now that I'm thinking about it. Oh, man. But I will definitely be talking about Spider-Man at some point in a later video. Cheers!